Hey, Tammy here. I am in my bedroom. It is raining outside. Well, not quite raining, but it's wet outside, and I really wanted to do a strength workout. So I was trying to think of some options that I can do without getting down on the ground, and it occurred to me that some of you might be exploring options for working out at home that are economical and also don't take up a lot of space. So I thought I would share with you my resistance band setup that I can use here in my room or anywhere in the house where I've got a door frame or a sturdy post. So it's a bit of a hodgepodge. It's not really a product endorsement of any kind or a brand endorsement. It's more of, if you're looking for options, here's an option that might work for you. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you my setup. Here on my floor is a collection of my resistance bands, not all of them, but most. And also there's a couple sandbells thrown in there because these things are economical options as far as space and also investment money-wise. And so if you're tight on space and looking for some quick options, these might work for you. So let's see, just going to come down here. You can see we've got some resistance bands. I've got a couple different brands here. So this one has the ring at the end, and also these have the carabiner at the end. So this brand I bought to fill out my original set, because these are part of my original set. I bought them actually 10 years ago in Vancouver, believe it or not, and they have lasted. But some of the bands have gone. So one of the things you want to look at in these resistance bands is they'll start to go old at the tension point and start to fray and kind of decay and corrode. So keep an eye on that. If it starts to go, then get rid of them and replace them, and that's what these are for. And what's really cool is nowadays you can buy them by part, so you can just get what you need to supplement your set. These are at Rebel Sport if anybody is in WA, Western Australia. And then these, we've got some, so basically what happens is these can be mounted on your door, and then you've got accessory sets. So this is a Velcro strap that goes around your ankle. Holding the camera here because, so this has got a Velcro strap that goes around your ankle and hooks into the carabiner that connects into the ring here. Yes? And then there's handles as well, so really cool handles with carabiner on the end to go on the hooks, and you can also hook the carabiner on the end of these as well. Those are options. And then what I did to supplement my set to use outside is there's lots of posts and things that you want to be able to use. And I was trying to figure, it's like I need a sturdy strap, something that'll hold on to this, and where am I going to get that strap? There's nothing at the hardware, nothing at the sports store, or it's really, really expensive. And what I ended up doing was going and getting a standard dog collar. All right, so really handy. The webbing is sturdy. I don't know what the safety rating is on it, but I don't think anybody's going to be, my dog, when I had a dog, she could pull pretty hard. So standard dog collar will work for most cases, and then you can adjust to fit the width of your post with the adjustment, and then carabiner, and it works perfectly. So I use this when I'm training my group outside, and they haven't had any issues. So other options that you can do are these therapy band kind of things. Some of them are even marked for you. These can be looped around your legs to help give you an added leg weight resistance. And then you can also use these kind of bands as well, and you can easily just loop these around a polar post and get some resistance out of them. Do some fun games with a friend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to set this up on the door, how to set up these bands on the door using this doohickey. It's got a fat end on the end and then a thin end with a loop to loop things through. So I'm going to switch cameras and get back to you with this. What we've got here is a door jam apparatus to go with the resistance bands, and so this jams into the hinge area of your door. and you want to make sure it's a door that latches shut, all right? So you just basically take the thin end of it, slide it through the crack where the door comes through, or where the door attaches to the door frame. Come around, and then depending upon how tight this fits in your door, you can place it anywhere, or you may need to brace it up above the hinge to keep it from falling down. But this door jamb is pretty tight, so I'm just going to pull this to where I need it, to where I want it to go, and then I'm going to push the door shut. Okay? Give it a little tug, and you can see that that's not going to slide anywhere. So then what you've got is you've got this space where you can loop this through. Pick a band that you want to work with. If you're doing a two-handed function or two legs, then what you can do is you just loop the whole thing through, and then you've got the ends to attach your handles to. If you're doing a one-handed thing, exercise, then what you can do is you can attach a carabiner to this, just like so, and loop one ring through it. Now, if you've got a band that has a carabiner on it already, then you can either have this on the end just to make it easy, or you can try and loop it through. Now, this is a pretty small carabiner, so in this case, I would use it to connect to the other carabiner. All right, so it's nice and solid. And actually, if you want a longer band, you can do this sort of a setup for your two-handed or two-leg exercise. Right now, I have the straps looped through, so we can do a two-arm exercise. I've got the handles carabiner to it, and we're all set to go. All right, guys, so you want to make sure you get some tension on this band. You want to pick a band that gives you enough resistance so you actually feel like you're working and putting some load into the muscles and into the movement, but you don't want it so tight that you can barely move, all right? So pick one that gives you some a good range of motion, but also a good load. Okay. And you want to stand far enough so that you can have some tension on there and it's not coming and sagging. Sometimes that's inevitable with the exercise that you're doing. It's just part of the deal with the resistance bands. But if you can avoid that and keep resistance in the entire range of motion through the movement as much as you can. And so here we're just going to do a standing straight arm row, keeping the elbow straight, pull it back to your hips, and then return. So as you're doing this movement, I want you to drive it from the middle of the shoulder blades and come back. So you're pulling those scapula together, opening the back. As you release, squeeze in the shoulder blades and release. So what's happening is you're opening through the chest. I want you to open the chest. Girls, stick your boobs out, so to speak, and come back. Now, you're not flaring the ribs, you're keeping those ribs down and not lifting. So keep the ribs down, pulled back, squeeze. So if you aim for a resistance that gets you to do about 10 to 15 of these, that's a good range. You can go heavier and do 8 to 12 if you like. All right? Straight arms, squeeze the back. Extend the arms out in front of you, get into a crouch, active posture, bending the knees, bracing through the tummy, and you're going to pull elbows straight back past the ribs, lengthen forward, and pull. And again, you're activating through the shoulder blades, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and coming back. Keep the ribs from flaring up, pull them down towards your hips. All right. Excellent. Now, one thing that inspired me to do this today is the ground is wet outside. I have limited space inside my house, and my patio is wet. So I was thinking, how can I get some core exercise in today without having to get down on the ground? And it's really simple. You can grab these bands if you like. You can even do this with a broomstick. And if I get a broomstick, I'll show you in a little bit. So essentially, with your bands, you're going to stand straight forward. See if I can get an angle of the camera so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to stand, I'm standing perpendicular to the anchor. And so I'm holding this, keeping resistance, I'm loading the elastic, keeping my arms straight, and I'm holding my posture. All right? Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to step, moving my feet, and I'm stepping. You can't see my feet, but I'm basically just taking a step back, touching the toe on the ground, and then bringing it back, alternating feet. And as I can do that, you can see that there's a little bit of adjustment that has to happen through my upper body. And as I do this as well, I have to grip the ground with my feet, which activates my feet all the way up through my pelvic floor and core. Another way to work the core standing is grab both ends of these bands, stand with your feet shoulder width apart, kind of in a nice active stance, straight arms again, and you're going to rotate the torso away from your anchor and rotate. So you're lifting those feet, lifting that back heel, and you're pulling your body away, resisting the return on those bands. All right. So there's a couple ways to emphasize this rotation. You can do it from driving the feet, lifting that heel. All right. Get a whole body motion through here. And then you can also isolate by anchoring the feet and rotating through the ribs. So another rotation you can do is by anchoring the feet and then rotate through, turning your sternum away from the anchor and coming back. So you're standing perpendicular to your anchor, straight arms, and then pulling away, keeping those hips square as much as you can. Rotate around. Just gonna, and then you would turn around and do the other side. I don't know if you get a good angle. Straight arms. Trying to rotate from here up. Excellent. Now I've changed the bands and put a little heavier band on this one for this exercise. It's kind of a modified chest press. This is a great push exercise. You can also get down on the floor and do push-ups, but again, if you're outside and you don't have, and the ground's wet or you don't have a place to do it, then this is an alternative movement. So you're gonna step and push. Step, push, come back, control that release, that return, come back. So you're going to want the bands to travel over the top of your arm, otherwise it gets really unwieldy underneath. You could do it this way, it changes the exercise a little bit. So try both out. See which way you like, or do a few both ways. You can also turn this into a chest fly. Step into it just to kind of give the body a little bit more dynamic movement. Come back, step again, come back. Keep a slight bend in the elbow as you're doing this. And you're just bringing the palms of the hands towards each other, touching my fingertips together. Beautiful. I'm just going to slide this down and show you a few options with the anchor lower. So coming from this low posture, it changes the angle, which gives us a bit more variable movement. So it takes that fly, makes it a little bit more challenging in some ways, gets a little bit more bicep engagement going. My load's a little bit heavy for this movement, but I can still manage to do it. Okay. So here I've got the ankle strap. It's velcroed, so I'm just going to wrap it around my ankle and adjust the strap so it's nice and snug. It's better if it's snug so it doesn't slide around too much. And then there's a carabiner. So the carabiner goes in the end of the bungee, through the rings, and then into the strap, and you're ready to go. So you can do standing Standing extensions. Brace yourself against the wall if you need to. Something to hold on to. So arabesque type movements. Here. Okay, you can do crossover movements. Adductors. You can do abductors. Okay. You can do flexion. Okay. You can also sit in a chair and do leg extensions if you like. That's just kind of help get you going with these bands, give you some ideas of what you can do. If you'd like some more tips, let me know, and I'm happy to help you out with these. And then I'm going to get out the elastic band, the therapy band, and show you some options with that. Alright, I just wanted to show you this is an option. Your therapy band that you can get these at any sports store or Kmart even. And you can do almost the same exercises that I just showed you with the door apparatus. With the only disadvantage is that you're not going to get as much resistance coming from these. You can, if you get the longer ones, you can double them up, and that'll give you more resistance. But the advantage of these is that they're very lightweight, very compact, and easy to travel with you. And you can use them in a few more other places, more variety of places. If you're going outside and you just want to loop them around a quick pole or a table or something like that and do some quick exercises, you can do that. So give these a try. They come in different weights or resistance, and they're a good option. Another option are these looped type bands. They come in different weights as well. This one is marked heavy. And what you can do with these is you can loop them around your ankles and your knees, and you can do various exercises, pitter-patter type exercises, clock foot reaches, that kind of thing. Walking, gait, forward and back, that kind of stuff. So just a quick little overview of some home-based equipment. Oh, wait, one more. So I had these sandbells, hyperwear sandbells. Basically, it's just a big neoprene pancake. You fill it with play sand, clean sand, and they're great for grip dynamic strength. They're great for getting out some frustration because you can do lots of dynamic movements with them, particularly a really cool slinger movement, which is a lot of fun to do. And you can step, jump, you can throw them, shuffle over to get them. Lots of fun. I use these in my small group training classes. And the other thing is you can drop it on your foot and it's not going to really hurt your foot, all right, because it's sand and you're not going to break anything. If you try to do that with a heavy metal plate, it's not going to go so well. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that, and let me know if you got some ideas for what you can do with your economical home gym, and hope you have a good day.